What's up, everyone? Tyrese has inspired me to make one of these videos, so I want to give a shout out to him and just thank him for inspiring me and plenty of other people around the world. And I just want to talk about some things that he's talked about and some things that I think. So, I think one of my favorite things that he's ever said, or one of my favorite videos, was he talked about whatever you order for your life is what's going to be delivered to the table. Like your life is like a menu. Whatever you order for it is what's going to be delivered. And I feel like people are like scared to like order off like the fine dining menu, and like people are ordering off the kids menu. In other words, like people are afraid to be great. Like people always say like I want to do this or I want to do that, but that'll probably never happen, or I want to make $1 million, or I want to do whatever, but they always are like that will probably never happen, which that's right there is where you're already like giving up. It's like when you say like it will probably never happen, it probably won't happen if that's what you think. If you think it's not going to happen, or you think you're not going to make it, it's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to make it. You got to really like believe that you can do it, or that you're gonna make it, or whatever you want to do. Like it starts with you and the belief that you have in yourself. And like we can go back to like another thing that Tyrese has said, where he said like the people closest to you, your parents, your friends, like family, those are all gonna be the first people that are gonna talk you out of what you're trying to do. I mean that sucks. I mean everybody wants their family support or their friend support, but I mean that's not always going to happen. Sometimes your friends, your family, those are going to be the first people that are going to talk you out of whatever you're trying to do, talk you out of your dreams, tell you you're crazy. If you want to be an actor, a professional football player, basketball player, whatever it may be, those are going to be the first people to tell you like you're crazy or laugh at you when you say shit like that. Like, but it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks because they're not you. They're not living your life. Like, sometimes you might have to disappoint your friends, or you might have to disappoint your family. It's not the end of the world. When you make it one day, I swear they're gonna forgive you. So it's not the end of the world if you have to disappoint them. So I'm just saying, like, you gotta do whatever you want to do. You can do. Like, just start. I like it. Just bothers me that like so many people like want to do stuff, or like have a dream and they just waste it. Like they just let their parents influence them, or they let whoever influence them to like just go another way. Like I feel like one thing that always happens is like we live in a society now where like college is like looked at as like you have to go to college, or you have to do this, or you won't make it in life. Where like there's nothing wrong. I don't have a problem with college. I'm not discouraging anybody from going to college, but I think you need to start by finding something that you love to do. That's where it starts. Screw your. Don't think about that far. Don't think about college already. Just find something that you love to do, like you really love to do it, and then figure out next. Just figure out what you got to do to get there, and like it's gonna happen. Like you just, as long as you believe, you figure out what you got to do. You don't let anybody else influence you because they're not living your life. If you listen to your parents or listen to whoever and go to college for something you're not that interested in, and then you go onto a job that you're not that interested in, and you're miserable when you wake up every day because you don't like that job, and you can't wait for the weekend, and you hate Mondays, like none of your friends, your family, they're not the one that has to deal with that. You are. So it's like it's better now to fucking just do what you want to do. If it takes 5 or 10 years right now to get where you want to be, and then you can live the rest of your life happy and without stress for the rest of your life, like that's well worth it. Like I would rather do that than freaking go on and like go to college or do something like that where be in a career that I don't like and have to live miserable and then have that little bit of regret the rest of your life that like you gave up on your dreams, like you just let it go. Like that's not living. Like you, it's just that's nobody wants to do that, and I feel like people are just too influenced like by everybody else. Like you got to just do your own thing. It's not about everybody else all the time. You can't please everybody. You got to please yourself first, and then you can please other people. And so it's like I said, I don't have anything wrong or anything against college. I feel like I said before, start with what you love, and then from there, figure out what you have to do to get wherever you want to be, and then I'll go back to for me, Will Smith is a really big influence, and he said there's no reason for a plan B because it distracts from plan A. Which that's another thing I truly believe is like there's no reason like for a plan B. People, that's another thing, like with parents and stuff like that. You might want to do something, and then your parents or your friends are always the first people to say, "What's your backup plan? What happens if that doesn't work out?" Fuck a backup plan. Like there's no reason for a backup plan. Like I strongly believe that. Like if you go to college for something that you're not interested in because it's your backup plan for 4, 5, 6 years, that's 4, 5, 6 years you just wasted probably that you could have been working your ass off for what you want to do, like for your plan A. So it's like there's no reason. I just feel like find out what you love to do and do whatever you have to do to get to that point. And another thing Will Smith said is no, like just find out what you want to do, and like this is what I want to do and I'm willing to die for it. Like that, it's really that simple. Like it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. You really just find out what you want to do and be willing to die for it. In other words, that means just this is what I want to do. I don't have a plan B. This is going to work out. Like I'm going to do this or I'm going to die trying. Like there's no other option. Like there's no plan B, there's no plan C. There's plan A. Plan A is going to work. This is what I'm going to do. And I have to do it. If I don't do it, I'm screwed. So I'm going to do this. Like, you just have to believe that strongly. There's no reason. If you literally say that this is what I want to do and I'm willing to die for it, like I have no other options, and you work your ass off every day trying to get there, I guarantee you, most likely, you will get there. Maybe not right away. Be patient. It might take 5 or 10 years to get there, but if you work your ass off and just keep going and not listen to what anybody else says, I guarantee you, most likely, you'll make it, and you'll be thankful because the feeling you get that you set out to do something and you did it is gonna be way worth it. And you didn't let anybody else influence you. You did your own thing, and you went out, you set a goal, and you achieved it. You achieved your dreams. And it's just, that's going to be well worth it. And so, it just bothers me when people just don't, I feel like, just don't think they can do something. It's like, you have the capability, now just go out and just realize, like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it or die trying. It's just like it's all in your mind. Your mind is just your most powerful thing. You just gotta believe. You gotta think that you can do it and work and work and work, and you'll do it. I feel like if you look at, for me, like another thing that's I think interesting to think about, that just shows that your mind is like the most powerful tool, is like look at the world's billionaires. There's probably like only 1% of this world who are billionaires, and I feel like that's because 99% of people don't ever think about that. Like, being a billionaire never crosses their mind, ever. Like, that's so far from what they're thinking that, like, it doesn't even make sense. And I feel like that's why, like, to most people, like, they want to make $1 million in their lifetime. Like, or like, they're just like, I wish I had $1 million. People think like $1 million is a lot of money, where really $1 million is not that much money. I mean, it might be if you think about it like that, but I mean, if you put it in your head like $1 million is not that much money, I guarantee you'll probably make a lot more than that. $1 million, $20 million, $100 million. You got to think about it as it's not that much. Like I can make that. I'll make that in my lifetime, and most likely you will. Or if you want to be a billionaire, you got to think about that. Like, you gotta strive. You gotta strive to like want. You gotta have a little bit in you that like thinks about that a little bit. Because most likely, if you never think about it, like that doesn't ever cross your mind, most likely you'll never get there. Like, that's just something you gotta really, most people think like a billionaire, like that seems impossible. 99% of people don't even think about that because that seems crazy. That seems impossible to them. Which we can go to another like quote from Steve Jobs where he said the people crazy enough to think they can change the world are the people who usually do. And that's because it goes back to your mind again. Like, you gotta, if you think you can change the world, or you think you can make $1 million, and you really believe that, you can do it. But that's the only way it's gonna happen, is if you think you can do it. If you think you can't make that, or that's impossible, it's never gonna happen. It's like your mind is just the most powerful tool. Tyrese said, if you change your mind, you'll change your life. Like, you change your mindset, you can change your life. Like, the way you think is gonna control where you're at, where you're gonna go. If you're always doubting yourself, you always have that little bit of doubt, and you listen to everybody else and you let everybody else influence you, you're not gonna get anywhere. You just gotta really believe in yourself and believe that you can do it, and fuck everybody else. I mean, it sucks that you might lose friends or you might disappoint your family, but it's like, they're not living your life. They're not going to be the ones that are miserable when you're working a job that you don't want to work. When you are always stressed out about bills or a house payment or whatever it may be, you're always stressed out about money, or like I said, whatever it may be. They're not the ones living your life. You will be the one living that. You will be the one who's miserable. So it's like, you might as well, right now, while you're young, spend 5, 10, or however many years it takes to get to where you want to be successful and happy, and live the rest of your life how you want to live it. And that's living. Like, other than that, like, you're just wasting your time. Like, go out there and do what you want to do, and fucking live the life you want to live. And fuck everybody else. Like, this is your life. Nobody else is living your life. Like, you deserve to be happy for the rest of your life. Like, once you stop having fun, once you're not happy, that's when you get old. That's when life ends. If you're just going through life stressed, you're just like a zombie. You're just cruising through life just as a zombie. Like, there's no reason to not be happy and have fun and, like, not be stressed and just have fun with your friends and have fun with your family. But, like, you might have to sacrifice a little bit on the road to success. And then once you are successful, then you'll be happy. But it's gonna take a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of pain and a lot of struggle, but it's all worth it, and it will be all worth it in the end. Don't be afraid to be great. Don't be afraid to aspire to be huge. I'm not afraid. I want to be an actor, and I'm not afraid to say, like, I look up to people like Tyrese, Will Smith, The Rock, Denzel Washington. These people are great, and I'm not afraid to say that I want to be on their level. I aspire to be at their level, and I believe that I can do it, and I believe that I don't have a plan B. If this doesn't work out, then I'm screwed. There's no plan B, there's no plan C, there's this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna work I'm gonna work my ass off until I get there. It might take me 5 years, it might take me 10, but it doesn't matter how long it takes, it's gonna happen eventually. I'm 20 years old. I don't have one single acting credit on my resume, but I go to class, I go to acting class, and I learn. Right now I'm just learning, and eventually I will get credits on my resume, and it will build up, and I'll climb that ladder, and I'll get to where I want to be. But that might take a while. But I don't care how long that takes. Eventually it will happen, and the struggle will be all worth it. So, I'll say it one last time, don't be afraid to be great.